Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome in to the Hoops Hour. I am the big man on campus. It's Monday, January 21st, 2019. We are back and ready to roll here on a Monday as we have a short card tonight. Not a ton to wet our whistle with, but we'll find something here on the board. We'll get into all the games here and try to find some value. Have some fun here today. I hope you're having a great Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. And do me a favor, hit the like button as always. Tonight, you can find, I will have a play probably around 6 o'clock at rightwager.com. Again, I don't really produce or produce marketing or anything, but if you're interested in joining, it's probably a good time to join. I fought my way back. I'm doing very well right now in college hoops, 25-14 over my last 39 plays. It's low volume, but we throw out some of the best games on a board, really try to get you a nice return on investment. $100 better, up almost $900 over the last 60 days. So again, after, look, football season sucked. Let's put that in rear view. Basketball right now is really doing some good things, and we got one more play in the NFL as well, 12-5 in NFL this year. So, if you're interested in joining, you can. All you got to do is go to the site, rightwager.com, just register, and then you can join. Let's welcome some people in here. What's up, Isaac, Hal, Josh Hood? What's up, Josh? Haven't talked to you in a while. Marquise, Jordan, Sports Life, Al Hard, Troy, Melvin, Jordan, Sincere, Juan, Jewish, BK Capper. What's happening? An interesting weekend. If someone can explain to me how Nevada's the number 7 team in the country, I want to hear it. Kentucky Derek, Ray, Super Alpha, Dan, Shun Childress. How you doing? Thanks for joining me today. Let's get into some games here. See what we got. We got the first one right out of the gate, 6:30 Eastern, Maryland and Michigan State. Michigan State laying 9. There is an 8.5 out at Pinnacle. Total is 145.5 or 146. I'll come out and say it. I like MSU here. I think they get the job done here, and I think they win going away. I think this is a kind of a get-right game for Michigan State, and I think this is a bit of a let's hold our horses with Maryland a little bit. I think that's exactly what this is. You look at the Maryland Terrapins, have won 7 in a row. But other than a 2-point home win against Nebraska, is there any wins here that you're overly impressed with? Seriously. I mean, Rutgers, who cares? Minnesota, who cares? Indiana, I mean, they're mired in a terrible slump right now. Wisconsin, I mean, I thought they had a good advantage. They had a big lead and blew it and almost lost. And then they go ahead and beat Ohio State, who I guess it's an okay win. But, I mean, they're not Michigan State. Ohio State's nothing special this year. This is a big-time game. It's on the road. It's in Lansing. You look at everything about Michigan State. Everything they do is at a high level. Offensively, they're terrific. They're the number 1 2-point defense in the country. Number 3 in effective field goal percentage defense. Their pace is really solid. Assist to field goals made is number 1 in the country. I mean, they have a terrific strength of schedule. They have a great bench. I mean, they are really a team that I think we got to start talking about here. This team is impressive. I mean, going into Nebraska and winning, not easy. You beat Purdue, not easy. A nice out-of-conference win away at Florida, not easy. All these wins, very solid. Only losses here to Kansas and Louisville. Louisville a lot better than I think a lot of people think. And you look at what Maryland's able to do. A lot of the time, they're just more physical than you. Bruno Fernando, tough kid. Very hard to beat. Very hard to deal with. I don't think it's going to be as difficult tonight. Nick Ward, a guy that I really like down low. Big kid. Kenny Gowen, Xavier Tillman. I think all those guys can be effective tonight. This line just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Do I like Maryland? Yeah, I do. But this is not in College Park. This is a young basketball team, the Terrapins. You look at as far as experience, guys, and this is something that for me where I kind of pump the brakes on Maryland. I love Maryland. I think right now they're a great team to bet on and look forward to. But I think a long-term perspective wouldn't surprise me if they go to the tournament and lose in the first game. It's all going to be about matchups for them. If they get a team that they can bully, they'll win. But if they get a team like a Michigan State type that can match their toughness, they'll lose. Same with Wisconsin. I think Michigan as well. I don't think this is a Michigan team that's going to go deep into the tournament this year either. But you look at Maryland, 348th in the country out of 353 teams in experience. And again, I know you'll get experience as the season goes on, but most of these kids have not played at the tournament level, big game level. Their average experience is 0.69. I mean, most of these kids are freshmen. I mean, outside of like Fernando, I mean, everyone else is young. Cowan too. But for the most part, this team is very young. Like Michigan State here, I think they win by 15. I think they run away in this one. Troy says Michigan rolls. I think we can agree rankings right now mean nothing. Exactly. But again, I mean, for Nevada, I think they do mean something because Nevada's a mid-major. Nevada does not belong in the top 10. They didn't belong in the top 10 before the season, and they sure as hell don't belong there now. Sunil, what's up? Is their guard back? No. Yeah, good BK Capper. On no point should you ever buy points. Ever. That is the dumbest thing in the history of sports betting. Do not buy points. Don't fucking buy points. Again, don't buy points. Maryland, Nevada, who do I have? I would go with Maryland. Maryland's 5-0 ATS on the road. Okay, well, then take them. I mean, I'm just giving you my opinion here. I think it's a tough spot for Maryland here. I'll go with the Spartans. Virginia Tech, North Carolina. Red Girl gave us under on the show. That number's moved down, so she got a great number there. Great call by her. And this one could be an effective play for Red Girl. And again, guys, I don't tell a lot of people. I think my info is the best of there is, but I'll tell you what, she's grown on me. She's a great girl. Really seems to know her totals. She's done a nice job. Really picked off a nice number here, 154. Virginia Tech, very slow pace-wise. If they can control tempo here, this one could go way under. You got to figure there'll be a better game here out of them. This is a tough one, though. Tough to go down to North Carolina and win. We're going to see what they're made of here. Like her call there. She got a great number at 154. Nebraska, Rutgers. This is an interesting line. This is probably where this line should be. They didn't throw out some weird line in this game. But one thing about Rutgers that I can always be kind of proud of is this team plays some good defense. You got to give it to Rutgers. They sure know how to defend. Steve Peichel always done a very good job there. They don't really give you much in the half court. They're an effective team. The way you beat Nebraska or to beat Rutgers is to be able to shoot the three. I mean, that's something that they're able to do. They don't defend the three well. So if you can knock some 3-point shots down, that's important. Can Nebraska do that? Not necessarily. I think this is a lower scoring game. I think Nebraska can get to 70, but I don't think Rutgers will. I think this is like a 68-60 type of game, something like that. I'm kind of liking the under. 134 seems a bit high. Both these teams very solid on a defensive standpoint level. Listen, BK Capper, you seem to be a guy that's pretty hard to talk to. So, again, do what you want. What does that even mean? It's all about the number. Find the value and cash out. So what, is 12 just a magic number in this game? And you think the game's going to be an 11-point win? What are you talking about? There is no magic number when you get above 4 in basketball. What are you even talking about? It's just a bad strategy, if you ask me. I'm just trying to help you and make you better. Buying points in the long run is a very dumb idea. And you're buying like 2 points. What are you playing at -150? That's a lot. I wouldn't do it, but again, there's a lot of people that bet differently than I do, and I don't agree with that. But again, it's your money. I'm just trying to give you some advice. The juice is going to kill you over the long run because a point or two really shouldn't factor into your betting. You should be confident that the line's going to, you know, do go the way you want it. That's a good question. What's up with the Idaho State line? Yeah, that's a weird one. Really is. I mean, I think Northern Colorado is a pretty good basketball team. I mean, I mean, they had some trouble on Saturday up at Weber, but I mean, this Bobcat or this Bengal team from Norfolk or from Idaho State, not anything special, not a lot, to really worry about here. This looks like a pretty sharp side if you're looking at it. But I'll tell you what, Rob Job, these haven't come in this year. Usually the better team has been able to go in and get the job done. So maybe you don't read a lot into that. But Idaho State definitely a sharp side. Somebody seems to know something there. But again, these have not come in. They just haven't. You look at Northern Colorado on the road this year, have won some games on the road, beat Sac State, beat Portland State, beat Montana State. They've went on the road and taken care of these teams. You look at, like, does Idaho State do anything that can bother you? Yeah, but you're not really getting any points. Like, if I'm getting 5 points, I'd say, okay, well, Idaho State does make their free throws, and they are very good from the 3-point line. But Northern Colorado, if they just defend somewhat from three, they should be able to win this. But the truth of the matter is Northern Colorado is not a good 3-point defensive team. 348th in the country. That could be an equalizer here. But do I think they can win? It just seems like a big stretch here. There's something going on in this game that I'm a little worried about. You look at also how Weber State won on Saturday. I mean, they made 9 threes. That was obviously big, but no one overly shot the ball well. Definitely a weird one. Definitely a weird one. Exactly, Adam. Great point. But you ask yourself, is Northern Colorado, are they like on the Santa Barbara level? They're definitely better than Idaho State, for sure. And these, like I said, just really haven't come in. Marco is talking about West Kentucky -5. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not really looking right now to bet on West Kentucky on a full game perspective. I think the first half's the way to go here. I really do. I think West Kentucky jumps out. Look, here's what you're doing if you're Rick Stansbury. You're taking this day by day. You're taking it and you're saying to yourself, okay, we're 2-3 in a conference. Guys, the season's not over. Let's at home get the job done. Let's right the wrongs. We had some tough blow-ups, but we won on Saturday at home. For large parts of the season, this team's played very well at home. They have a big advantage in this game. Basie is a guy that should be able to do exactly what he wants. And again, I thought even at Marshall, for large parts of that game, they played very well. They were up 42 to 31 at half. Had a real nice lead. Basie had 16 and 8. Really solid game. And if not for John Elmer kind of going off, they don't win that game late. It was just one of those games where this team right now has issues blowing leads. But maybe they can build on what they saw Saturday. They went out and got a win against Florida Atlantic, a game in which they were up, and kind of had to fight in. They were down 6 at the half in this game. For once, they were hunting instead of being hunted. They're back at home. It seems like maybe for once, Lamonte Bearden is important in this offense. Had 26 minutes. They just kind of had some weird goings with him. They didn't really know how to, I think, deal with him coming off the suspension, and he was kind of screwing up the chemistry of the team. But I liked what I saw Saturday. So, yeah, I think at home, Marshall is not a good defensive team. They can't defend Basie. And again, I think the first half, I mean, they had no trouble in the first game. I don't really see them having a lot of trouble here either. You got to look at Marshall. I mean, this team is 275 in the country in defensive field goal efficiency. Teams are shooting 53.5% from an effective field goal percentage. They're 288 in 3-point defense, 260 in 2-point defense. The only thing they do at an effective level is turn the basketball over. And that's one thing that obviously another reason in that Marshall game, West Kentucky had trouble. Turn the ball over 18 times. Between Basie and Delano Banton, they had 8 turnovers. They have to cut that down. That's the one reason Marshall was able to win that game. But you look at on Saturday, only 11 turnovers from West Kentucky. If they protect the basketball, they will win. It's that simple. Really like them from a first half perspective. Think they're worth a look anytime they play. See something here. I want to see if I can find a little look here on something. And I want to shout out to there are a lot of great things to look at from a team rankings does a great job from a standpoint of ATS stuff, but there's no there's no team rankings for first halves, which I wish they would do a little bit better, but they haven't. So we kind of just have to figure it out on ourselves. But also another thing I like from a West Kentucky perspective is you look at the fact that they played on Saturday, so they've had 2 days off basically. You look at this year on 2 and 3 days off. West Kentucky 4-1 against the spread. So, I mean, they seem to be able to kind of right the ship, kind of playing games. Sitting and dwelling on it has not worked for them. It's let's get out there and let's play. That's kind of been our look on things if you're West Kentucky. So, take that for what it's worth. Could be in a nice spot here tonight. You also look, I want to check out with Marshall something on Marshall. Who did they play over the weekend? I think they played FIU, I want to say. Let me see here. That's one thing I probably should have looked at. They were home against FIU. So they played Saturday, were off yesterday, and then traveled down to Kentucky, which isn't a particularly far trip. But again, still traveling. West Kentucky, it's interesting. On 2 and 3 days off, which I guess it's not really, they've only really had 1 day off. They're 4-1 against the spread. With just 1 day off, they're 0-3 against the spread. So it's interesting. These Saturday, Monday games, I want to see how they've done here. Okay, they played Saturday. They haven't really played Saturday, Monday games. It's been the Thursday, Saturday thing that's been bothering them, I think. Interesting. They've had a good, decent amount of days off. But you look at Sunday, December 16th, and they played Wednesday, December 19th. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. Let's go through some more comments here. Any thoughts on Manhattan Marist? No. I mean, 2 bad teams. Wouldn't be betting on those. Great show. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. What's up, Nuke Worker? Yep, Kansas we'll get to in just a second. Sixers, Rockets. Probably see a high-scoring game there. Do I have anything on Norfolk State, South Carolina State? Yeah, I like Norfolk State a lot. I think they're a bet-on team down there in the MEAC. This line kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. But the line's going the right way. Norfolk State is getting money in this game, and they should. They're a better team than South Carolina State, and they've won 5 in a row, playing some great basketball along the way, but have only traveled 1 time in those 5 games, and it was to Coppin State. Should win here. Really good 3-point shooting team, Norfolk State. They're playing a South Carolina State team that really doesn't do much of anything well. They're a terrible defensive team. They're a terrible offensive team. They really don't have anything to really look at. And I'll tell you what, Norfolk State I've always kind of liked. They're always a solid basketball team under Robert Jones. Nick Thomas, a good player. Stephen Whitley, he's been there, junior player. They're an older team. They don't really play a lot of young kids. I think they have 4 or 5 seniors that get regular minutes on Norfolk State. And, look, they've started off pretty solid here in the MEAC. So should be able to go and get the job done. Yes, I would agree with that. Is Longwood a look tonight? Yeah, I'm not really. Look, I like Longwood. They're actually a great ATS team, but I really like Radford as well. Radford's been good to me. I bet on them once or twice this year. Cashed on an underdog ticket when they played Texas earlier this season. But Longwood's 12-5 against the spread. One of the better ATS teams in the country. So keep that in mind if you're looking into the Lancer game tonight. Should be a close one, I'd imagine. Let's get to Kansas, Iowa State. It's a tough game. I mean, these big Monday spots for Kansas have been very good over the years. They're 27-0 straight up over the last 27 big Monday games. So Bill Self has been very good in this spot. And if you look at against the spread, Sharps have been very quick to fade underdogs in this spot, basically the Saturday to Monday road team. That's something Sharps have been fading this year. But you can't get away from the fact that Iowa State's really playing great basketball. Ball security's been terrific. They don't turn it over. They don't foul while playing defense, and transition's been very good. They've had a nice group of players, especially Shayok, who's been one of the better players in the Big 12. He's making his foul shots. They really do a lot of good things well. Lindell Wigginton's starting to come back and give them some home minutes, and he's also been obviously there, getting into these games and doing some good things. I'd probably take the points if I had to, but you don't have a big, window of things going your way. Again, Bill Self 27-0 in big Monday games at home over the last 27 instances. They don't lose these games. They're also off a loss, but I don't see 5 points difference between these two, to be honest. I think this is a game played in the low 70s. 74, 71, something like that. But that's that. So that's about all the games we have for today. Pretty much went through all of them. Creighton, Georgetown, should be a lot of points in that game. Georgetown, I like it more and more as I watch them. Creighton doesn't do a ton for me. I think they're a bad defensive team. I like Govan a lot. Really like what I've seen out of Mac McClung. I think that could be a look for you. Georgetown at home tonight. Baylor, West Virginia. Obviously, West Virginia coming off a big win. Baylor coming in. I think this is actually a pretty decent matchup for Baylor. You look at the fact that no Kanate, Tristan Clark being out doesn't hurt as much. Baylor always with pretty competent guard play. I think they might be the play here. Maybe a letdown game for West Virginia. We have to remember this team hasn't been overly impressive. I mean, up until Saturday, they hadn't done anything. Which, by the way, if you want to say thanks to me, I gave you West Virginia. Told you they'd probably win, and they did. I considered NJIT tonight against North Florida. Like what I've seen out of the Highlanders. I think they can go on the road and stay within the number down at North Florida. But North Florida's improved on the defensive end, and this is a big game in this conference. Lipscomb laying a huge number against Kennesaw. That's a lot of points in that game. Somebody commented on the fact that I say a lot. I mean, that's kind of this show. I mean, there's so many games. There's so many comments. I really like Sacred Heart today. Wish I would have pulled the fucking trigger in that game. Damn it. That's pretty much it, guys. So if you have any questions from an overall perspective or anything, you team to bet on or something, feel free to throw them in. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Buy Direct Sports says Marshall first half. Why do you like that, Buy Direct Sports? You got to give us a reason. I mean, listen, guys. If you haven't seen Alcorn State, you probably shouldn't be betting them. They're a bad defensive team. They're a bad offensive team. I'm not a big SWAC guy. I don't bet on it too much. Once in a while, there'll be a gem there, but that wouldn't be one of them. I don't do lock of the nights. Lock of the night will be on my. Yeah, I'm aware that that's their rankings, but you're saying you like it in the first half. Why do you like Marshall in the first half? Not really. Not really sure what you mean. You put out a pick. I'm asking you why you like it. I already talked about Radford Longwood. Thank you, Mike Maya. Already talked about Marist. No opinion. UNLV does not play tonight. Are there any three bid conferences? I don't think the AAC is a three bid conference. I think they could get four. I'm not really sure who. I mean, I haven't looked that far into bracketology just yet. Jeff Pro, I'm bad. Okay. Okay. Bidirect Sports writes Marshall in first half, Western Kentucky 92. So you're saying they're number 151. I don't know. I guess I was confused with what you said. So you're saying West Kentucky is the better first half team. Okay. I didn't really quite understand. I thought you were giving us Marshall first half versus West Kentucky. Right. Any thoughts in Florida Gulf Coast? No. No, I don't have that. Already talked about that. Guys, we're towards the end of the show. We've talked about most of the games already. You'll have to go ahead and rewind, and you can get some of the picks. Best two teams. Yeah, no. UNLV doesn't play tonight. Do I like team ranking over Ken Palm? They're both okay. How long before Tennessee loses their ranking? Let's take a look. I think they have Vandy coming up. Tough trip. They get the crossover against West Virginia. They luck out there. They don't play anyone in the Big 12. Surprise, surprise. Uh, they don't play anyone in the Big 12 tournament. What a surprise. Tennessee with the weakest schedule on earth didn't beat anyone other than Gonzaga. What a joke. Don't play West Virginia and A&M. Then they get A&M in conference, South Carolina in conference, Missouri. They're definitely backloaded. The last 6 games of the seasons are terrible for Tennessee. Just brutal. I mean, you got to play LSU in LSU. Then you got to go to Mississippi. Then you get Kentucky, Mississippi State, and Auburn. 3 of the 5 games are on the road. And then sandwiched in between, you got Mississippi State and Kentucky. Listen, mark my words, by the end of the season, Tennessee will have 4 or 5 losses. You guys will see it here first. Thanks, Shadow. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. Same to you. Already talked about that. Yeah, I don't think they're the number one team. And again, that's taken as I hate them by their fans, but I'm just being honest. I don't think they're the number one. I don't think they're the best team in the country. If I'm ranking the overall best teams, they would not be number one. In fact, if you're telling me as from a talent perspective, how good is Tennessee? I would say, well, Duke is better. I think Virginia is better. I think Gonzaga is better, even though they beat them. I think if they play together again now, I think Gonzaga would beat them. I think they're better than Michigan overall. I think Michigan State's better than they are. I think Tennessee's better than Nevada. I think they're slightly better than Kentucky. I think Kansas might give them a good game. I think there's 4 or 5 teams that overall are better than they are from a talent perspective. But If we look at Duke, Virginia, Gonzaga, and Michigan State, they've all played a tougher RPI than Tennessee has. If you look at Tennessee, you'll notice that they have two top 25 wins. But at the time when they played Louisville, Louisville wasn't a top 25 team. So they truly only have one win, and it was against the Gonzaga Bulldogs. They have 7 wins outside of the top 100. And outside of Gonzaga, what's the best win here? Guess it's Louisville. Your wins are against Alabama, Memphis, Florida, Missouri, Arkansas, Georgia, Louisiana, Lafayette, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, East Kentucky, Samford, Corpus Christi, and Tennessee Tech. Your losses to Kansas by 6. Do I think Murray State could make a run in the tournament? Yes, for sure. I think John Morant's the number 1 pick. Is UVA still the best team in the is still the best team in the country? Yeah, I mean they're right up there. Would I put them right now? No. I think right now Duke would be number 1 if it's me. Did I cash a West Brom ticket today? I did. I took them small today. Yes. Zaga with Tilly. Don't disagree with you. Not at all. I think it's Duke, and I think at the end of the day, it's going to be Duke and Gonzaga. At the end of the day, does Kansas beat them on a neutral court? Yes, they did. Do I have any futures? Yes, I have a few. I have Virginia at 15-1. I have Gonzaga as well. I also have Oklahoma. And today, just today, I want to announce this. I bought a ticket at PropSwap. I got Texas Tech at 33-1. I thought that was terrific value on Texas Tech. I can't get them really anywhere above that price. So I was able to grab that, and I grabbed it. So I get Texas Tech at 33-1. I think that's a team built to get to the tournament and do well. You look at kind of what they did last year defensively. I think Jarrett Culver is a guy that could be one of those Kemba Walker type of players. I think they have a really good front court. I think coaching wise, they're as good as anybody. Texas Tech is a team to keep your eye on. I'll continue to say their offense has been a little bogged down right now. And again, I couldn't really care less about the regular season for Texas Tech. I know when the proof hits the pudding, Texas Tech's going to be a really effective basketball team. And at 33-1, I thought that was good value on them. I know they've lost 2 games in a row, and that's acceptable. But I think defensively they're very good. I think they're a team that has a great front court, like I said. I think Mooney will be a player that will help them late in the season from a shooting perspective. Again, it might be a bad bet, but I thought the price was good enough, and I grabbed it. I'll continue to point out as well, if you guys are interested, PropSwap is a really cool company. They don't pay me or anything, but I felt the need to talk about them. I think they're a cool outlet for what they do. Basically, they allow you to buy and sell tickets, sports betting tickets. So, like I have a Virginia ticket at 15-1. I could sell that to someone, and they could do it. So, I really like what they're doing, to be honest. So check them out at PropSwap. I think it's a great way. And again, I think I'm going to try to become a partner with them. I really like what they do, and I think they have a kind of a cool idea. So check it out. If something's working for you in the NHL, I wouldn't bet against it. John Moran over Zion, yes, because the teams that are going to be number 1 will need John Morant. And I'm looking at you, Suns. Texas Tech's got to get it going from 3. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I mean, they have one player, I think, that shoots 40% or better. They have to shoot the ball better. You're dead on the money. And Mooney's got to pick it up, and Culver's got to pick it up. Moretti's 39%, so he's right there. You're right. If you guys have any other questions, we'll be on for another 5 minutes or so. Feel free to send them in here. I want to do something here. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow there, buddy. Do I think Oregon makes it in? I think they'll find a way, yes. Not a good conference out there, so they should be able to find a way to get in, yes. Possibly working on some kind of podcast coming up here. It's going to be maybe a weekly thing with another handicapper, a handicapper that I don't think a lot of you guys know. He's not from SBR. Just going to be a 1 week a week thing where we kind of talk about the state of college hoops, stuff that we look at when we bet, stuff to kind of keep your eye on as the season gets continuing here. It's going to be audio only. It's going to be a real show. It's going to be on iTunes, stuff like that. So maybe look out for that. Yeah, if you want to look over at rightwager.com, you can find it. A lot of people left the show. It's a shame they left because I was going to give out a free play here. But it's too bad. You guys can just have it and you can enjoy yourself with it. I'm going to give out Georgetown. I think Georgetown is a play tonight against Creighton. This isn't my play of the day. This isn't my client play, but I think this is a game that was very close for me. The only reason I didn't take it is because the other one I like more. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth. I think Georgetown gets the job done at home tonight. Michigan State is 14-4 against the spread. Do you think it's wise to bet into a market that high? Why wouldn't it? They're 14-4 against the spread. They've covered 78% of the time. Why wouldn't I bet into that? Especially tonight where the whole world's on the other side. Yes, I would bet into that. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thanks for joining me. I am the Big Man on Campus. You can catch me later, as always, 9 o'clock on the Off the Board show on SBR. Ian Cameron will join us. We'll talk some live betting and have some fun talking sports betting as usual. Have a great day, and we will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye-bye.